Other members on? Tony, Gary?
Gary's here.
Okay.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello, sir.
So if we're all set, I don't know why I'm getting an echo back.
We just don't have Tony at this point.
I thought he was there.
Tony, you there?
Thought I heard him.
I'll send him a text.
All right.
Hello, Tony's on.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was on, but you couldn't hear my. And I'm getting a horrible echo. Yeah, so I'm on.
Welcome back, Tony. I thought I heard you.
Okay, Gary, we're all set.
Okay. So we have to read the announcement as any other meeting. So this meeting is being held, conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, pertinent to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have suspended public gathering, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. We are currently will vote in accordance with Regulation 940 CMR 29.10 of the open meeting. So with that being said, we'll call the meeting to order. So the first item is to review and act on the minutes of January 26, 2021. Any questions about that meeting? I don't think I missed anything in the beginning.
Make a motion to approve.
So a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Tony?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We're going to open this up to general discussion. Anybody have any thoughts?
Through the chair, I had put some thought into something I mentioned for a few minutes last meeting, and that is along with the analysis of the needs for the town, that after we get completed with that, that I'd like to look at including a process for managing free cash for the town going forward. So what I did is I put together a few scenarios, like if assuming that free cash is at a certain level, how would we spend it? And I think we could put that in this report And the assumptions with this is that certain items would be approved from the recommendations of this committee, and that along with those changes, we would implement a way to manage free cash. So I don't know what the rest of the board feels.
And I do remember you bringing that up, Tony, and I think it's a good point. I think it deserves being looked at, because we tend to always try to find the money to fill the needs that we currently have, that become tough to carry every year, whether it's whether it's a building maintenance, whatever that line is. And I think you're correct. We do have to look at that.
Yeah, I did that exactly, Mr. Chair. And I think there's other things that we're neglecting that we should also pay for. So, for example, if free cash is over a certain level, 10% would automatically go to OPEB. 10% automatically goes to a building maintenance fund. A certain percentage goes to additional road repairs. And a certain percentage goes to capital and stabilization. So that, more than the way we go now is that capital just gets dumped to capital requests. And if we have our act together on this request, we should, part of it is fulfilling a long-term capital needs. So we should be in a better shape, after we give our report. So that's what I was looking at.
And that's a good point, Tony, because I just jotted down, how do we maintain the roads after spending $19 million? And I know we get Chapter 90, but it seems like, Chapter 90 isn't enough to protect the interest of what we're spending now. So that's a great point.
Hello again.
Hello.
Gary's back.
Bill's back.
Mary Brainey's back.
No echo. Beautiful.
I'm back.
Brenda, are you there?
Tony's on. Can you hear me, Tom?
Yeah, I can hear you, Tony.
Who are we
Much better,
missing,
Noah.
Tom?
Okay, so I think Brenda's texting me. She's saying everything's okay. She started the meeting, so hopefully everything's okay now. I think everyone's on, right?
I think so. I heard Bill, I heard Paul. Chris, you on? Hello.
Hello again.
We're back. Hey, Mary.
Hey, Bill.
Tony's on.
Gregory here. I'm not sure what happened here. I honestly have no idea. So, when I first called in at 5:53, I just typed in the dial in and access codes, and I was not given the prompt, are you the organizer? Oh, that's why. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were okay. Well, now. It didn't do it again, did it? I'm just on my phone.
Sorry, everybody. I don't know what happened.
Gary, do you know if? Go ahead.
I'm back.
No. Because you're on, no, I'm using the access code of 182815733. If you go out. Wow.
But Aaron, you're dialed in right now, and the meeting is still running, right?
Yeah, I just lost something. I just came back in. I don't know where it went. Weird.
Gosh.
Yeah, this time Brenda's not on the screen. I don't know
Well,
if
she
that makes
might-
a difference.
She might not be. She said she thought that Aaron just texted me. Aaron just started, so you should be all set now.
It's interesting.
It's frustrating. We got to figure this out. Well, I don't know what to say.
Who do we have? Is it just us on here now?
So I think it's you, Gary. I think Chris, are you still there?
I'm still here. Yep.
Tony, you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
We're just missing Paul McLaughlin and Bill
And Bill.
Wall, but are they?
They're here. No,
Oh,
I can,
I'm on.
Mary Brainey's here. I can see them all.
Okay. So we're here.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Whatever. We're back.
Okay. So why don't we?
Oh, so they were getting ready for the next one ahead. That's all. Okay.
But now, just remember, the planning board has a separate license and a separate room. So what they do with their go-to-meeting function should have no bearing on.
Right.
On.
Oh, okay.
Todd. Right. Okay. All right. So sorry about all this. So
okay.
I'll
So
be quiet.
Tom, you're gonna forward that to the capital thing to the members, right?
I'll do that right now. Yep.
And we'll look that over. I don't think it's the end of the world because we're not there yet, but you know, and it may be a little late because your capital meeting is going to start this coming week. Is that when it starts?
The first capital meeting is next Tuesday, the 23rd.
Oh, but I mean, I think it's a valid point to you know, at least take a hard look at it and look at how it's defined now, and any changes that you know, everybody, you know, give everybody the chance to at least put their input into it and get some information and you know, and try to think it out for our next meeting and bring back our thoughts on it. That's where I'm coming from anyways.
Yeah, through the chair, and through the chair, my suggestion is also a tiered. So if our free cash goes over a certain amount, the distributions change. So I just want to throw that idea out to the. I think it just inserts some automation and discipline to what we're trying to do.
Yeah, not a bad thing by any means.
Gary, I've got one question. You know, it's not what you're saying sounds really good, all things considered. But since we're kind of in a capital deficit right now, capital spending deficit, would we have to get back to square one first before we implement something like this, or would we gradually get there?
No, exactly. So I have assumptions with this thing that, you know, that certain items from our overall report get approved. I think we have to put our plan into action that we create out of this, and then along with that as a companion piece, I thought we could put the free cash solution in, because one of my assumptions is that out of our efforts here, we're going to suggest something to address capital spend and road spend and staffing, and that gets put out there for a decision by the town. And as a companion piece, we're going to tell them that we're going to get disciplined with the way we spend our free cash from now on, that we commit to automatically putting some money away in certain accounts, and if free cash after this happens meets certain criterion. I know this year we can't do it. I know next year we probably won't be able to do it. We'll have to go the way we are now. But I think I just want this to be, I'm suggesting maybe that this be a companion piece to whatever we put out there to the public.
So in a manner, we're kind of building reserves. Is that where you're headed?
I think, yes, I think that's a part of it. I mean, across the state, I don't mean to get into too much detail of this, but, I think we should get even more discipline on putting money towards OPEB every cycle. I think we should have more discipline in putting some money away on top of whatever we ask for building maintenance and for minor road repair and for some internal for our stabilization account. We have a decent stabilization balance, but the state says we should be above that. So we should put some money away when we can, when the levels of free cash allow us to do that. And I'm suggesting that maybe instead of, just going as we do every year, just throwing everything at snow and ice overruns and so forth, that after we do all that and clear our books, that we should have a process for spending that free cash. It's just an idea. I mean, and
Yeah, no,
like
sounds good, actually.
And I think it warrants, because we have a lot of, OPED's a good place to start. Is we know that we're underfunded, obviously, and I think and Tony, correct me. I don't want to speak for you, but I think the thought process on a building maintenance account is just that. It's to maintain. Doesn't mean that. Good example: the sprinklers at the senior center, the air conditioning at the library. Those will always be a capital,
right?
Right, because of the number. But I think what Tony's saying is there's some places where you've got to notch out, and not to pick a number, but it could be 25,000 out of this pot has to go to OPED, 50,000 out of 400 or whatever the number is should be set into stabilization until, and you may hit stabilization to a point where you're comfortable and you say, okay, we're good in there, and then you can adjust. I think that's what you're thinking. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And we can get into more detail. I can put a descriptive with these items as well. But OPEB is obvious. That's going to bury a lot of time. We got to start putting money in there. But, yeah, the road stuff is to augment whatever we get from the state to do minor patchwork.
Right.
If we have the free cash to do it. The capital is capital. I mean, when we have larger items that we think we need additional capital thrown at, we can do that. And these percentages are all up for debate. But I also have the stabilization. I have when free cash gets to a point where we've had amazing new growth someday, and we can start putting maybe even a give back account to the departments. So I'm thinking of incentives here.
Yeah.
with money being put back into free cash. Maybe we throw some money at committees that we don't even talk about, like create an account for charitable giving, or marketing for economic development, or money for the celebration committee. And all these surveys, everyone wants fireworks back. Well, free cash gets good. We're at a million after we pay for snow and after we clear any other deficits. Put 1% into a celebration committee if we've got a good year. That type of stuff, and any other ideas people have. I think take the subject. Go ahead.
I think if you jot all that down, where your thoughts are, because I think you and I are kind of on the same page. And I'll jot down what I'm thinking. If anybody else can jot down what they have, and I think it's a valid point. to try to look at this and see where we are. And I'm not trying to push, but we have to be done within about, I don't know, 14 minutes or something, so they can get on. But
Got it,
if we're okay with that, I'd like to talk about review and act on the survey that Mary came up with. Hopefully everybody had a chance to read it. I think it came out fantastic, but I don't know anybody else's thoughts on it. But my opinion is I can't see anything that it's missing. She did a great job. She refined it. I mean, to me, I'd send it now. I think it's great. I mean, we just got to figure out how we're going to do it. But I don't know if anybody else has any comments on it.
Gary, I agree. It's a great survey. It's just, how are we going to get it out to the public?
Yeah, and that's the only thing that bothers me is because of the, we missed the survey and with the buildings, because we had a pretty good response. I think Mary was saying back when we had them at the library, I think the town hall, we had them at the senior center. I don't remember where else, Mary, you might. And we did get a good response on those. Again, with this going on with the COVID, I just don't know. But I think the survey is done. I think it's there, in my opinion. How do we get it out there, I guess, is the important part.
So, Mr. Chair, if I can jump in for a sec.
Mary, please.
Hello, I did look into the cost to put it in the leader. It's a nominal cost. The biggest issue with that is, of course, that people will have to drop it off at town hall. In the box of the response in the box at town hall. The other thing, and we will put it. The library will put it on their. I mean, obviously, we'll put it on the town website. The library will put it on their website. Paul Hahe said he would not only put it on his website, but he would have it passed out at the schools. It's just so tricky right now. You're right, with COVID. And then, and then just, I think, mentioning it at every single selectmen's meeting, finance committee meeting, et cetera, saying that it's out there. We likely won't get the response that we had in the past, but I mean, if we had the funds, we could do an individual mailing as well, but that's a whole other cost thing.
Yeah, can we also have a reverse 911 pointing to a website to fill it out, or where they can pick up forms?
Oh, sure. And the biggest, I mean, it's so much more helpful if they fill it out online. In the past, we had a computer set up at town hall. They had access at the library, but now nobody can go in to use those computers, which is another, either at town hall or the library, which is another problem. But we'll just make sure that on the print copy, we also have the login so that people can log in, and just keep promoting, please log in if you can.
Yeah, I don't know any other way, Mary. You make a good point. I agree. The new leader is one way, but I think you're right. Electronic is the only other option we have right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're stuck.
But I think the survey's ready to go. I'd like to, if everybody's comfortable with it, I think we should take a vote and accept the survey, and we'll have to work out. I guess, Mary, we'll have to do what you say. Mary, do you remember what the cost is to put that in the new leader? Did they tell you?
It's printed there, and part of it has to do with whether we take it, we bring them print copy, or they have, or they print it for us. So I didn't go any further than just checking it out. It was a couple $100 to put it in as an insert.
So we can call June and she can set it up anyways.
Right, exactly. Yeah, she would be the one to know. It turns out, did you see the today I sent out the print copy as well? I revised the print copy, that it just needs a little more tweak. Right now it's 6 pages, which would be 3 double sided pages.
Right.
I'm not sure how to make it any shorter because of the, we don't want the print to be too small.
No, and I think that's the only way to go. Even when I looked at it, you couldn't shrink that enough, and you're right, is your print would be so small anyways that, again, but I'm really comfortable with it. If everybody else is, I think we should make a motion to accept the survey as it is. And then we'll make a motion to move forward to get it going.
So moved.
So motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Tony?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
The chair votes aye.
Could I just ask one more favor?
Go ahead, man.
Could a couple of you print that? My printer isn't working at the moment. Could a couple of you print the hard copy I sent and just look it over to make sure that the pages fit? I know I need one more edit for it to put the heading in, but if you could just look at it to make sure that everything's clear.
You
in
print that,
terms of
Bill?
seeing it.
I can't.
Thanks.
Yeah, I did. I have
Oh, good.
a free copy in front of me. And
Okay,
it was
Okay,
6
so-
pages back and front. Everything looks
Yep.
clean, cleared. Everything looks aligned.
oh,
The
good,
charts
okay,
look fine.
excellent.
So it looks good.
Okay, thanks.
All right, nice. Tom,
Mr.
if we
Chairman, I
want to, so go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, so our strategy here is initially websites, mail it to the new leader, reverse 911, continuous cable role as far as
Broad-
notice on the survey, and mention at all meetings.
Yep.
I would also
That's-
suggest that maybe
I don't-
Mary get interviewed by Kevin at the new leader or something like that about this.
Yeah, which isn't a bad idea. I mean, these surveys, we've had good success, both on the cable side and then the roads, and it all works. So, but it takes the promotion behind it, as you know, Tony, and Mary knows that.
Yep.
Yep. So, as far as the, go ahead, Mary. Sorry.
Oh, just one, I'm sorry, just forgot to ask before. Do you have a target ending date? And I mean, like, do you want to say 30 days after it gets distributed the first time, or do you just want to leave it open?
I thought that based on how we try to get the input, I'd hate to shut it off early,
Okay,
but I don't know how you feel, anybody else feels. I'm thinking, electronically, it should be easier for people, but there's going to be, some groups that may peck at it for a while. I don't know. I'll go with.
I would like to at least. Yeah, I agree with you, Gary. I think, I mean, at least I'd like to have this out to be worked over by the public for 3 months or so.
That was my thought. 60 to 90 days is.
okay, I just didn't know if you wanted an ending date, so we
Sounds
just won't
good.
put one on, that's all.
It's just like before, Mary. I think some of those other ones we got after the fact, and we were already beyond. No, am I wrong on that?
So the other ones they kind of petered out. I mean, we didn't put an ending date on them. We just kind of decided when they were done, we shut it off.
Okay.
And that was,
Okay, that makes.
part of it was just the census stuff came back in and that was it.
All right. That's right. All right.
Well, Mr. Chair, we can always decide in one of our meetings if we're meeting monthly to shut it off if Mary's seeing the numbers go down drastically.
You're right, Tony. We'll handle that as it comes. So we're all set there. Mary, you want to follow up with June on the new leader, and we'll get a cost?
Yep.
And figure out what works best for her, and whatever you need me to do, we'll do.
Right. Okay. I know
Right.
Tom had also mentioned, I mean, we can just take it to one of the printing,
One of the
one of the
printers,
photocopy
yeah.
places. Yeah, things like that. So we'll just compare the costs and
Yeah, that's fine.
figure it out.
We can make a decision on that. That's perfect.
Okay.
All right. Identifying the next steps. I think the survey is really going to identify where we're going. Tony, you're going to put together your thoughts on the other thing. What my gut tells me is we got to dig into that. So I think that's going to be time consuming, and we really need to get to that. I think that's going to, and I think you're right. It won't happen this cycle, and probably not the next cycle, because we'll be in that where there probably won't be a lot of extra money. I'm hoping there is. Maybe the federal government will insert into the towns. I doubt it, but I hope. Always have hope. But you're probably 2 cycles away, so it gives us time. But I think it really is going to take a lot of work to kind of narrow that down and get our thoughts across. And that's everybody's thoughts, not. So I think, and I'm trying to think, anything else that I'm missing?
I think we should start considering the format, survey aside, the format, what we'll present to the public, and also start planning and talking about public hearings on what we get, on the report and what we find out from the surveys.
Yep, I agree. Okay, so let's, they're trying to call in now again. Aaron, don't let them. So we're going to set the next meeting. Tom, what do you have open?
Okay, March is gonna be really tight.
March is tight, yeah.
Yeah, give me a second here. We may just have to pick, it's gonna be tough because I'm looking kind of blindly at days where there may be a Conservation Commission meeting or something else, and I don't see that here.
So what if, Tom, do you want to look at the calendar? Because I know March is going to be stuffed.
Yeah.
And email us what's available, and we'll see if it can work for the board members.
Okay, I'll do that, Gary. That's a good idea. I'll throw out some dates tomorrow morning in an email, and the committee can think about what works. I'll do that.
Yeah, because I mean, I just know I'm watching all these meetings coming up and everything that's going on. I think, the calendar is going to be pretty full, so we'll fit in there somewhere, and hopefully it works.
Okay.
Anything else from the board? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
So motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second, roll call vote. Tony?
Aye.
Christopher?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Sorry, guys, got to cut them short, but they're trying to get into the next meeting. We're back to back. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We did a little bit of work.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Stay safe.